Let's talk Giants. Okay. Whew. Oh boy. This 2020 season for the New York Giants, I've put way too much thinking into this, but it's like the Bizarro version of 2016 season, right? Before each of those seasons, we made a couple, like 2 or 3 big free agent splashes, right? 2016, it was Snacks, Jackrabbit, OV. Before this season, it was Bradbury, Martinez, I guess you would say like maybe Fleming, or who am I missing out on? I guess they franchise tagged Leonard Williams, if you want to count that. So we bolstered the defense before each season. The defense in 2016 was, I think, ultimately second in scoring at the end of the season. A lot of low scoring affairs, a lot of close games a lot of the games were determined on the last drive. And a lot of those games were our defense making a stand on the last drive. We did go 11-5, but if you look back at the 2016 season and say, if this drive goes differently, if all of those last drives go differently, with the defense caving like they did every time in 2015, you would have ended up with probably a 6-10, 5-11 record in 2016 as well. But the fact that the defense was able to rise up and make those stands in had to be 5 games in 2016, they go 11-5. Now, if we make the last minute stands this season on defense, you're looking at, we're probably 3-4, 4-3, 5-2. We're probably right where we would be in 2016 at this same time. Because I think in 2016 we started 2-3, and then it was off the races after that. We ended up going 9-2 down the stretch. Part of me thinks we're not that far off. A lot of people are shitting on Daniel Jones, and a lot of people are saying, he's not the guy. And it's like comparisons to Eli, which is not fair. First of all, Eli was, when he was 23, he was a senior at Ole Miss. People kind of forget that. He was still in college. Daniel came out 2 years before Eli came out. 22 last year, 23 this year. I don't think that you can move on from a 23-year-old, especially given some of the statistics and facts I'm going to drop on you. Of course, seeing the graphic that ESPN threw up on the old screen saying that it's the most turnovers since Ryan Leaf. It's like, I don't want to see that comparison ever again. Thanks, ESPN. So I don't think we're that far off. And last week I said I really thought we would keep it close, but that the Tampa would blow it wide open in the second half. And that didn't happen. The first half, we really controlled the game, had the lead going into the half, which is something that I don't think we've ever done, maybe outside of the Washington game. And I thought, okay, well, we'll probably shit the bed in the second half. We gave them a nice fight, but this feels familiar. And we came out of the second half, and the defense wasn't as good. The offense tripped up more than it did in the first half. This was definitely Jason Garrett's best game that he called of his Giants OC career. Short-lived, but this was the best game that he called. Daniel did not play well, very inaccurate. But you look at Tom Brady, and he was missing a lot of throws too. And I think it had a lot to do with the wind and just the elements, because Tom Brady was not as accurate as we're accustomed to him being, although there were still a couple throws where it's like, I can't believe you even pulled the trigger on it and you still completed it. And of course the refs. Honestly, it feels like Groundhog Day. It just feels like we're watching the same game over and over again. Opening drive, we go on defense, we give up points, whether it be a touchdown or a field goal. People are calling field goals a victory. Great. But it would be just once to get, let's just stop them and not give up points on the first drive. We give up 3 on this first drive, but then they clamp down, and then they give up points towards the end of the first half. Of course, it was only a field goal, but still, it's like, guys, let's not let them move the ball with less than 2 minutes in the half. Let's just make a stop so that we can prevent what happened towards the end of the game, which, we let them go down and score towards the end of the game. But I put most of the onus on the offense and most of it on Daniel Jones for this game. 2 just unbelievably bad interceptions thrown, where it's like no chance of being completed, nowhere near the receiver. And 1 ultimately killed the drive. 1 didn't even let the drive begin. And I think in both instances, I think he had the opportunity to throw it away, the opportunity to take a sack. And I think in one instance, he had the opportunity for a possible touchdown if he sees Slayton on the left getting behind his defender, because the defender stopped short on a double move and there was no safety over the top. It is what it is. I was projecting a loss, but I thought it would, and I wasn't alone, that it would be so Giants to have this one huge upset win like they always do in some of these shitty seasons, whether it be the 98 Giants over the undefeated Broncos, the 2017 Giants over the playoff bound Chiefs. Like, it just felt like if there were a trap game for the Bucs, this would be it. And sure enough, I mean, if you don't have these fucking referees calling these horseshit penalties, no matter what Daniel Jones did turning over the ball, Giants win this game. Giants win this game. I have no doubt in my mind. Giants are now 5-15 at home since 2018. It's the worst record in the NFL. We're also 0 for the century in these fucking white uniforms, these color rush white uniforms, throwbacks from the 80s. Could we not, why not just throw the home throwbacks? Why are we not? Why? What is it? It has to be some kind of weird stipulation. Like, the rights to those uniforms ran out in 2000. Is that what happened? Like, why can't we wear the home blues, retro home throwback 1990 home blues? Why are we wearing the aways at home? I don't get it.